All right, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to another match of Dynascape's Intermediate Cup. Today we are in the quarterfinals, where we will be seeing Osufriki versus Splendor of Tranquil Waters, which they are going to be in the quarterfinals losers bracket, playing on their first conditional, if I do remember correctly. In the commentator's booth, it is going to be Nightcore. Joining me is going to be Betsy. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty fine. I don't know. Yeah, for now we are seeing tiebreaker, which is oh, and here's the first warm up.
Yep, we don't really have any delays honestly right now, so we're just gonna jump into warm-ups, which is gonna be the first warm-up. This is going to be WhatsApp car. Um,
I
again,
think I think I know this map.
so here we do have today where we will be seeing again the losers bracket match, where the winner will be going off to play in their next conditional, which is probably going to be which will be this week as well, where they'll be facing off against Seed 16 Ballers, and then, well, no, not Ballers. Yeah, they will be facing Ballers. And, I've seen both of these teams in action before, and honestly, it's just. And honestly, I do think it's going to be an interesting match, really. So, what do you honestly think about these teams before I kind of go more on about it? Have you seen these teams?
All I think this will be a pretty close match because both teams actually played really well.
Yeah, and judging off by some of the qualifier stats is what not qualifier stats at this point. Round of 16 stats. Resplendent Tranquil Waters are they're a fairly solid race team, kind of overall. Is as you know, they've been getting some very solid scores on some of the tougher rice picks, which the quarterfinals could give them a bit of an advantage. Especially now we're in quarterfinals, we're kind of getting into that mid game range where the maps are going to start getting a lot more physical, a lot more awkward, and definitely a lot trickier to kind of keep focused on. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
for meanwhile for Osu Freaky, if I will just quickly check here, did they play round of 16? I I can't really see it. I think they,
I was checking the match results and I think they win by default.
I see. So yeah, it does look like they did get a win by default last week. Let me just quickly check. Did I get a win by default? Sorry, I wasn't really that organized. No, they did forfeit last week actually in the winners bracket against
Oh,
C9. So yeah, we don't really have much round of 16 info, which could be a bit hard to track on any predictions. But we could look from the round of 32 statistics where they did manage to take where they did manage to take a victory. Actually, a very solid seed upset against Seed 8 HTT. So judging off by this, um, they're also a very solid team, having solid scores all around. Again, coming again more kind of like the stream-ish, kind of mixed rice, kind of more bursty-ish maps. As for LN, um, let me quickly check again. I don't really see much info on LN, but more on the hybrid side of it. They have decent hybrid scores, especially on hybrid 2, where they did manage to get overall 99.6 on that. And for the qualifiers, then again, still very solid scores. Kind of more well balanced scores as well, but more kind of on kind of fairly physical team as well. But what do you think again, as we just kind of get into the second warm up?
I think this is gonna be interesting match. I sadly couldn't check the statistics sheets in time. I have rough week and but judging the fact that they won against seed 8 in round of 32, this might be a very interesting match.
Yeah. So we're just hopping into the second warm up now, which is going to be playing God. I do remember this being in a tournament. I think it was a qualifier. Yeah. Judging off by seeing just stage 1 down there, it is going to be a qualifier match. I think this is mixed res if I do remember correctly. It's kind of technical as well, coming in a couple of scatterjacks throughout this. Well, we're just really going to have to see, honestly. I don't really have much predictions for this match. Judging off by OC Freaky, they could potentially also get a seed upset. So yeah, this is going to be This is going to be North American Minion Tournament. The technical qualifier, as I just did receive information from there.
I see. So
I am trying
looking
to.
like for now, also Freaky doesn't have that good physicality, but comparing to the splendor of tranquil waters,
Well,
but we will see. It's
yeah,
definitely close.
you can't really judge too much off by
Yeah.
warm-ups, especially I don't really remember if WhatsApp card was that physical or not, as I was kind of carried away with kind of giving the overview of both teams. But we're just gonna really have to see as we do get into the protects and bans later, as we will more than likely see what they're more comfortable with. But yeah, I guess that's really as much as I can say for something like this, as we do come off to a close for the warm-ups. So on the upper hand, I definitely think that Splendor Tranquil Waters do have the advantage. I think they do have the advantage on LN, especially more the release-oriented LN, as they have very high seedings and very high overall placements as well on some of the LN picks.
So this
Which,
might be a Rice versus LN match.
yeah, we can potentially see that. But as I am looking through the qualifier statistics, but also Freaky, especially with their seeding upset as well, I won't be surprised if if they would put up a good fight on the LN department as well. But again, looking at the LM performance from also Freaky, we don't really have much info on them, unfortunately. Splendor Tranquil Waters, again, they're still fairly solid at LN as well. Well, we'll just have to see, I guess. So
So
we,
also Freaky won the rolls, and they
yep,
are banning first. So I think Splendor of Tranquil Waters will gonna go with LN1.
they are going to be getting into the first protect. As usual, it is going to be an ABBA format of protects and bans. So yep, they are going to be jumping into the first protect. So as you did say, LN1 could be a potential spot for protecting, which is going to be I don't speak any foreign language. I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna refer it off to LN1. But again, it's really just what they're comfortable with. And you
Yeah,
were correct.
LN1.
LN1. Honestly, LN1s I've seen were typically more in the frowned upon maps, especially by some of the earlier teams. So honestly, a very strong ban, which could just kind of show the capabilities into the LN. So now we're gonna get.
Yeah, so now I think also Freaky will protect Rise 2 or Rise 1. judging the statistics.
I definitely do think they will be protecting any of the rice. It's just again up to what they are comfortable with. As you did say, it would probably be a smart pick to pick kind of. Yeah, you did say either rice 2 or rice 3. But again, it's just really what they're confident. It's just really what they're confident with.
Yeah. MP timer 50. So, and this is rice 2. Yes, I was right.
Yep. So they are going to be protecting rice 2, which is going to be the stream pick. It is 262 stream. A couple of mini jacks scattered in as well. And now they are going to be getting their first ban, which I won't be surprised. Anything's on the table for them.
I think
Honestly.
LN3.
I'm kind of.
Yes.
Wow, you are correct. Wow, you just. Yeah, what psychic abilities do you have? Who's going to win this? Alright, yeah, they are going to be banning LN3, which is going to be the hybrid. Not hybrid, wildcard LN pick. Again, what?
And I think the Splendor will ban rice 3 or 6.
They are
Yes,
going to be
they
banning
gonna
rice 3. So this is going to be rice 3, yeah, the mixed rice pick, which I think Osu Freaky might be able to capitalize on some of the rice picks. Meanwhile, splendor, tranquil waters are probably going to capitalize on LN again. I do think this might be a rice versus LN matchup. We could see a couple of hybrid picks as well. I do know the hybrid picks are fairly tricky, especially hybrid 2 and hybrid 3.
I think the most tricky hybrid is actually hybrid 1, because it's so physical and very techy. Having more complex actual patterns than the tiebreakers, so it's definitely gonna be interesting.
Yep. And we do get off, and the protects and bans are set off. So we are going to now get into the first pick of Osu Freaky. And again, I would not be surprised if they would kick off with rice. Now we have seen before that both teams are fairly comfortable with making it this far already. So that is a fairly good sign already. So if they are protecting something like Rice 2, yeah, I won't be surprised if they are jumping into Rice 1.
I just wanted to say that they will pick Rice 1, but I had biscuit in my mouth.
So Rice 1, we are kicking off with the jump stream pick. 200 BPM jump stream with a couple of bursts, kicking out the BPM from last round. Again, we are kicking into the mid-game range. So we're just kicking off. So it's just everything's going to be fairly harder.
Yeah, judging the statistics, they might have good grip on this, and now they are picking it. So I think.
I do think
we have slight issues. We're gonna be right back.
we'll be back very shortly. So I do think the MP has been sent off. No, hasn't? Okay, I don't think the MP's been sent off yet. Or we could just be seeing... Well, we exactly don't know. But stay tuned. We will be right back. And here we are. Kicking back in. Now, I have no idea really about these teams in general. So, well, it's just gonna they're just gonna have to surprise me. And there we go. The MP has been kicked off, and now we can start the first map of the match.
Let's see. For now, it's very close, but it's only the beginning of the map. And especially that it's very easy. But we will soon...
Oh.
I think that was client miss, right?
Yeah, that was most likely client. Maybe not?
It wasn't client.
It wasn't. 2 early drops. But I don't think it would have made a significant difference just yet.
Oh.
Actually, now it might have, as entry does kind of find that second early drop giving the accuracy lead back to Splendor Tranquil Waters.
I think they are stressed.
This is a fairly tricky pick, honestly. Jump Scream with some bursts as well. Again, it might not be comfortable for a lot of players. Again, kicking off into that mid-game range as well. You're going to have to keep your toes up. And yeah, entry finding another drop, which, especially with the map length only being around 2 minutes, there's not really much room for... Yeah, there's not much room for error, honestly. But as we can see from here, the only Sonic and Seimitsu holding on to the highest accuracies in the lobby. The only Sonic with the MVP currently right now, holding on to that 99.79 as we do approach the final quarter map. Seimitsu trying to catch up. But honestly, with just entry, with the couple of unfortunate unfortunate drops to start, kind of trying to keep their combo, trying to get the max score thingy back. I don't know if it's going to be enough, honestly, unless coming into the end now. It could be, as Semenu is going to find that drop, which not much room for the map, and the score is going to flicker back towards Osu Freaky, which, as long as no one chokes it again, with that score gap closing again, no, it's not going to be enough. Putting Osu Freaky into the driver's seat.
That wasn't a clean miss from Seimitsu. And I think that's why. Yeah. Looking at the ratios, well, the all are pretty similar, with the only Sonic having 988 on this map. It's a very good score.
Yeah,
considering the fact that they are seed 25.
Yeah, very solid scores all around. The only Sonic taking the MVP with the 99.8 with the 4/200s. I definitely think that Seimitsu and the only Sonic are more the race-oriented players comparing to the top two, which I did forget the names, unfortunately.
And I think they will pick Hybrid 2 or LN1.
Yeah, Splendor Tranquil Waters definitely seeming like a fairly solid LN team, judging off by their overall performance from last week and the week before. So yeah, as you were saying, I won't be surprised if they would be jumping into any of the hybrid picks, or potentially an LN pick. Maybe they could go for LN. They could jump into their Protect, or again, as you did say, they could jump into hybrid. LN2 also still on the board. And yeah, I'm gonna pick LN2, which is gonna be the density pick. So again, I do think Osu Freaky could have a chance to snag a breakpoint in this, especially that LN density isn't as tough on the release end. But again, you still have to kind of focus on some of the releases, though. But it can still be anyone's game, as we did see what we did see what Osu Freaking could do last time, and we have seen what Splendor Tranquil Waters could do as well. So, yep, it's just all uphill from here. And yep, here we go, kicking off. Entry having the slight rough start on down to that under that 9 mark. But again, it's at the start of the map. Probably have a chance to climb back up their accuracy. At least there were no early drops. And yeah, Splendor Tranquil Waters kind of finding this pick fairly comfortable, especially having the higher accuracy advantage. Seimitsu taking the MVP still right now with that 99.62. The only Sonic trying to catch back up to log, but yeah, just trying to catch up.
Every player is beyond 99.2,
yeah,
which is really dangerous, because one miss and everything could switch to the other side.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for some of these releases, especially in this bit, where this map is very awkward. Entered the only Sonic, finding a couple 200s on this Wii release, so gotta be careful just in case you do find a drop around here. Yeah, I think actually this awkward section has been kind of a tricky bit for everyone, as I do see overall accuracy decreases from everyone.
Except Saimitsu.
I think Samitsu was on the 99.7 before that. Log finding a couple 200s near the end. Gotta be careful going into this final quarter of the map that you don't accidentally choke anything. But just overall, the accuracy on Splendor Tranquil Waters, it could seem that they are taking this point with not much map left. Even a miss at this point, I don't think would be enough, especially this far into the map. And yeah, there are going to be no misses, which Splendor Tranquil Waters are going to snag that first point as well, equalizing with Osu Freaky.
These scores are very good. Like
Yeah,
3 players are beyond 970k, with one of the player only having 965k.
yeah,
This, yeah, yeah, you can.
yeah, overall very solid scores from everyone. That four-way FC as well, showing that everyone is fairly comfortable keeping that combo count. Sumitsu is going to take the MVP this time as well. Hold on to that. I kind of forgot already. Short that memory moment. But yeah. Also, Freaky are going to have to be cautious, especially on those LN picks, as it definitely seems Splendor or Tranquil Waters can definitely capitalize off potentially more of those LN picks, even some of the hybrid picks as well. But we are going to get into Osu Freaky's second pick. I wouldn't be surprised if it was another Rice. Honestly, they could jump into their Protect, or honestly, that bad shout would be Rice 5 as well, which is kind of like a jump stream technical burst map. Which I do know Rice 2 is kind of mini jack oriented with a couple of streams. No, they're going to jump into hybrid too, actually. Interesting pick.
I didn't expect that actually.
I do know Osu Freaky are also fairly solid at hybrid, but we'll just have to see how they're going to do. This is going to be kind of technical. This is going to be more technical bursts with release. So you just kind of got to keep your combo up for this. It is OD 7.2 though, so there is a bit of room for error if you do accidentally release a bit late. Any Daria core enjoyers, anyone?
I remember this map as SV.
Yeah, this is actually notable. This is actually a ranked SB map. I do remember it fairly well. It wasn't an SB jump stream. It's an awkward map.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, we're gonna kick off very soon, as I do think everyone has ready up. And yep, there we go. The MP start kicked off again, like usual.
We love when players are getting ready up very quickly.
Yep. No stalling here. There we go. So yeah, again, you kind of do have to...
What happened?
Probably client.
Nope, it's not client.
Wait, we could see, is this potential disconnect?
Yeah,
we don't know yet.
I think yes.
Wait, yeah. Oh, there. Never mind. I did think someone disconnected. Yeah, the abort command has been sent out. So yeah, we're just gonna have to hold on a slight bit longer for this. Yep, it does seem like one of the players did disconnect. Oh, never mind. The only Sonic's game did crash apparently, or did freeze. Either or. So yeah, as I was going to say before, we did get the unfortunate disconnect or crash or whatever. Yeah, there is a bit of inverse and release in this pick. Especially, technical inverse release is not easy to hack.
I think this pick might be in the favor of Splendor of Tanking Waters. Favor of this, because it's more into a lens than Rise. But we will see.
Yeah, definitely kind of again, a very mixed pick overall. Yep, and it seems that everyone is fairly comfortable with this intro. No rough starts, which is always a good sign. I really like to keep things intense here. Yep, here we go, kicking in. Yeah, and look at those releases and those bursts. Not an easy map overall. All players are finding this fairly comfortable. Entry dropping a couple 200s there, same as the left fluffy. But the only Sonic and Sametsu finding this fairly comfortable. And yeah, those short LMs can be fairly tough to act as well. Especially if you're kind of the layout of this map.
But we will only go into the hardest part at the end. So for now, I think... Oh, entry misses.
Yeah, but it's not looking too well currently for Osufrika right now, as entry does fall underneath that 99 mark. The only Sonic trying their best to catch back to gain more points for Osufriki, but with Sametsu and La Fluffy having that accuracy right now, especially the 98 from entry is definitely going to give a huge advantage to Splendor Tranquil Waters with that 20k score difference. And yeah, we are kicking into the backhand of the map, which is going to be, as you did say, is going to be the hardest bit of the map. Following the same layout as we did see from the first drop, but with more release-oriented technical side. And yeah, we are getting a bit more technical LNs as well. Finding a two-way drop from entry and Sametsu, but as we do get through this outro, I don't think it's going to be enough for Osufriki to catch back up, giving the breakpoint for Splendor Tranquil Waters.
$30,000 points difference. It's kinda huge leads. It shows that Splendor of Tranquil Waters really are good players in general.
See, that's the thing. That kind of raises a bit of red flags now for future picks like that. See,
Yeah.
if you're seeing technical bursts as well, and we did see from before that entry isn't as comfortable with that, could raise a kind of a huge red flag as well when we come into more of the hybrid picks, even some of the Rice picks as well. Looking at Rice 4 and Rice 5, potentially Rice 3 as well. But we just have to see, honestly.
So I think they might go with Protect now.
Yeah.
All in one. Or
Yeah.
Hybrid 3, which is also very LN heavy.
They could go with anything, honestly. I would say more on the favor of hybrid 3 or LN1. Again, as I did mention with the red flag, they could potentially pick somewhere where the harder Rice maps, as we did see Sametsu fairly capitalizing off the technical picks and the bursts.
Rice 3 is banned, by the way. So.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. And this was done from the Splendor of Tranquil Waters, so you might be wrong, but I'm not saying that.
So it does look like they're going to resort to picking LN1. Yep, they're Protect.
Yeah. This actually might be close, because from what we see from LN2,
well,
also Freaky actually can do releases, so...
See, I do think it's going to be more of an instinct where I definitely do think that Splendor Tranquil Waters have more the advantage on the LN side, which for Osufriki it just might not be enough for their accuracy to compare with Splendor Tranquil Waters. But at 80 BPM, it's going to be fairly slow, but the releases are definitely going to be a bit awkward. So yeah, the title of this map is actually Sagashi Bono, which for those who can't read kanji, of course. Again,
That's why I never use the Japanese symbols in my Osu, because I can't read them.
There we go, kicking off the next map. Which I do think that breakpoint is definitely gonna be extremely useful for Splendor Tranquil Waters, especially as we are kind of running it more in the island oriented picks. But we'll just have to see. It is OD7 though, so there is a bit of room for error when it does come for the releases. But missing again, there's not much room for error for that. Entry kind of having entry dropping a great near the start. Again, you still got to be a bit careful of those releases. So yeah, there's not really anything too special about this map other than it is a fairly slow release coordination kind of pick, as we are now kicking off into more the release oriented stuff. So we get
Look
a couple of
at look at accuracies from the Splendor of Striking Waters. This is massive.
yeah, look at Smetsu,
Yeah.
99.92. Could potentially see a V1 double S from here if that consistency is kept up as we do kick off now. As we 80 BPM and we are getting in entry as well. Unfortunately finding that rough drop near there. Gotta watch out,
Yeah.
especially on that coordination wall there. Yeah, as we are kicking off more into it, you just gotta watch out really.
And the map is only gonna get harder and harder.
Yup, we are getting into kind of more heavy coordination as we are approaching the back half of the map. The only Sonic as well, kind of dropping a couple of grades near here as this difficulty does kind of get up. Log and Smetsu still holding on to the highest accuracy in the lobby. The only Sonic trying to catch up to Log right now as we are approaching the final quarter. But those grades from the only Sonic and that
Oh,
miss as well is definitely going to set him a bit back comparing to Log, which this lead is extraordinary for Splendid Tranquil Waters now. As we do see another two-way miss from Osu Freaky, which, as we don't have much map left, it's going to be very tricky for them to catch up, especially now
yeah.
as we are approaching the outro coordination area. Actually, we still have a bit of map left, but with the 80k point difference, I don't know if it's going to be enough at this point. Like, and especially how consistent Smetsu is. Not dropping
Yeah.
a couple of greats, but overall still having better accuracy than the entirety of Osu Freaky. Yeah, this ending is kind of tricky as it does get into more quad releases. And yeah, with a 105 point point difference, the lead is going to be again enhanced to Splendor Tranquil Waters, taking that next point. Wow. Very solid scores
And
again.
I just the ratio from Senmitsu, the MVP.
Yep, Smetsu taking that overall solid MVP. Look at that PA. Five
Yeah.
200s. Comparing to everyone else with double digits as well. And all those other misjudgments as well. Like, especially even on log side as well. So holding a fairly respectable PA and not dropping any hundreds or fifties as well, which is definitely gonna get you a score advantage more.
And they are going with Protect.
Yep. So they are going to be jumping into their protect, which again I'm not really surprised they'd be jumping into the protect at this moment. Well, judging off by how confident they are with this protect, I'm definitely interested to see how this goes, especially for future Rise maps.
Well, from what we see from the Rise 1, this might be really close.
Yeah, especially as we did see from Rise 1, Splatter Tranquil Water is still able to keep on to kind of a bursty stream map. Actually, Log getting subbed out for La Fluffy, as we did see. I did think we did see from the start that La Fluffy was more the Rice-oriented player for Splendor Tranquil Waters, comparing to Log. But we're just gonna have to see again. So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait. So this is a fairly tricky pick, especially with the mini jacks in this 262 BPM. Comparing as well with the streams, it's not going to be an easy map to act, especially now. The speed is, we're getting into moderate speed territory as well, where the streams are going to be relatively fast for quarterfinals. So yep, here we go. 2 minutes as well. So again, not much room for error.
The worst thing about this pick is, as you said, mini jacks. Because instead of clicking, you might hold and get a not very nice miss.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to find any early rushes in this type of map, as you will be managing to snag a lot of misjudgments. But the intro of the map isn't really that mini jack heavy, so you don't really have to worry for it for now. But again, when you do get to that max combo count, well, that max combo cap, well, it's going to be a bit harder to catch up. And as we are now going to get into the main part of the map with Osu Freaky taking that lead. Yeah, those mini jacks are catching a couple of players out, but nothing too relatively tough now. A couple of players dropping a few 200s like Entry there. Gotta watch out on those mini jacks. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Entry finding a lot of grades. Still maintaining to keep that combo, but unfortunately, just with the great rush from Entry is going to give that lead back to Splendor Tranquil Waters. So yeah, we are going to kick into the final quarter of the map with the accuracy advantage. At Splendor Tranquil Waters again, Semetsu and La Fluffy holding on to that 99.6. Semetsu could potentially get onto that 990k as well, but it's going to be fairly hard, especially with the final quarter of this map being around the same difficulty near the first drop of the map, which ideally all players are going to find a couple of grades on. Yep, Splendor Tranquil Waters taking this point again, getting another breakpoint and getting into match point.
So this is very dangerous right now for us, Freaky.
Yeah, especially on a breakpoint as well. La Fluffy and the Only Sonic coming in with the team MVPs. The Only Sonic taking the MVP with the free 200s, 989k. Meanwhile, La Fluffy as well, taking the 6 200s as well. Not too far behind off the Only Sonic. But I think it was just the overall more consistency of Splendor Tranquil Waters that managed to snag them that breakpoint. Also, Freaky kind of had the disadvantage now, especially getting on that breakpoint again. They're going to have to be on their A game for this potential final pick from Splendor Tranquil Waters.
And I think they will go with hybrid.
Yeah.
I think looking at the also Freaky right now, the Splendor can go with hybrid one just because how physical it is.
Yep. So anything, again, I do think is still on board. We have seen Splendor Tranquil Waters capabilities on the physicality side as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if they would pick Rice 4 or Rice 5 as well. But judging how they can capitalize on the LN, yep, they are going to be picking hybrid. Which
the hybrid 3.
Yep. So this is going to
very release heavy.
Yep, it has a lot of tricky staggers. It also has a lot of mixed rice bursts, and I'm pretty sure for the back end of the map there is going to be a speed change as well, which all the players are going to have to adapt to if they don't want to find a couple of early rushes on it.
A lot might be lost.
Actually, as a matter of fact, this map is getting ranked. I think this map's ranked now, no?
Yeah, it's ranked.
Nice. So Osufriki are gonna have to be on their A game if they want to stay in. If they want to stay in this map and in this match and potentially the tournament as well, as you know, as they are in the losers bracket, they are gonna have to watch out.
And the MP start wins, and we're gonna see the potentially the last pick of the match.
Yep, here we go. Just good luck, have fun to both teams.
Yep.
Yep, those releases are fairly tricky. You were right on this kind of being a release heavy map again. But the accuracy is kind of flickering, as most players are in a similar situation with the accuracy. With the only Sonic currently on the highest with the 99.76. Gotta watch out again, especially with some of those reverse shields in the map, which I definitely do see a couple of players could potentially struggle on. Especially that they are an absolute killer for accuracy. And those staggers as well, especially at the 155 BPM range where they are decently fast.
The hardest part is at the end of this map, as always. As you can see, it's getting more and more release heavy and looking like Splendor getting the accuracy advantage.
Yep, they definitely have the accuracy advantage, as there is a 2N99.4, and here we go, heading into the slowdown of the map. Especially with those releases, it's definitely going to be fairly tricky for some players to adapt to it. As we do see the only Sonic and Entry dropping a couple of grades on some of those release bursts. Gotta be careful, especially now. The only Sonic dropping that 100 as well, which honestly, everyone is taking a slight accuracy drop from the slowdown. Again, it is fairly hard.
Yeah, it's just coordination call.
Yeah, it is fairly hard as well to adapt to a speed change like this, especially on kind of a tricky pick like this. And here we go, kicking into the final quarter of the map. As you did say, it is the hardest bit. Osufriki are going to have to kind of keep their A game on this if they want to snag that comeback. With the 30k point difference, is it going to be enough? Entry
No.
dropping, Entry kind of struggling on this. That might be the final nail in the coffin, as only the score gap is getting wider. Svetsu and the Fluffy climbing back up to accuracy, and yep, as Entry does find that final drop again, I definitely think that is going to be the final nail in the coffin. And yep, unfortunately, we are going to have to be saying goodbye to Osufriki, as they are going to...
They still got amazing scores. Like these types of scores get like seed 10 or seed 9.
Yep, GG's well played to both teams. Splendor or Tranquil Waters are going to be punching their way into their second conditional match, where they will be going off. They will be going off and facing Ballers next. Ballers potentially in a few hours. So stay tuned for that, really.
This might be actually be a very close match. Seed 14 with Ballers have 16 or 15.
Ballers are seed 16, and it does seem like that match is going to be happening Sunday at 13 UTC. So stay tuned for that. Actually, I don't know if it is being streamed or not. So what we do have next is we are going to be seeing the Swaggers versus Banger Name from 2 hours from now, which is going to be at 1 UTC. Stay tuned for that, as the winner of that match will be going off to face Indomni in the second losers bracket conditionals.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to say GG well played for both of the teams. Sadly, we need to say goodbye to the red team, and good luck for the blue team.
Yep, as I do say, You might went down, but you definitely went down. You definitely went down with a good 5.
Yeah.
Again, you were not really too far behind the other team in sweat maps. So, unfortunately, now we are going to have to take a short. We're going to have to take a bit of a break for a while. So we're going to have to close off for now. Do you have any words, Bexy, before we do close off?
I think I said everything. So yeah, guys. Goodbye. See you in the 2 hours.
Yep, and just like that, we will be signing off now. In the commentary booth is going to be I, Nightcore. Thank you, Bexy, for commentating with me in this extraordinary match. And just like that, we will be seeing you in 2 hours.
Bye bye.